Hello, my Binge-a-thonders! Today marks the 15th anniversary of one of my favorite thriller adventure movies, Nine. The journey of how Nine became a movie from a student thesis film is so fascinating. It was about a year after Shane got the gold medal from the Student Academy Awards. A producer, Jim, hopped along the train and started talking with Shane. And Jim was starting to take money out of his pocket to create the development of this story. And eventually Tim Burton joined along, and screenwriter Pamela Petler joined as well, and together they started creating something beautiful, and Focus Feature wanted to distribute the movie. It just all was a really beautiful moment of artists coming together for a passionate, innovative story, and you can tell that through the movie. Now, I'm not about to break down how the whole world works of Nine and get down to the nitty-gritty, because believe me, I want to. I want to make a Cinnamon Wind style video about this movie in the future. But for now, I kind of just want to shed some light on some really amazing things that this movie showcases in spirit of its anniversary. I'm not sure how I got the DVD, I just remember having it. I used to say that this was my favorite, in quotation marks, horror movie. And anytime I had friends staying over, I wanted to show them this movie if they wanted to watch something scary. Personally, I am not a big fan of scary movies as a kid, and even now, I'm 50-50. Mostly watching like thriller, suspense, and psychological movies. Not really messing with gore or supernatural movies. Nine was something I have never seen before compared to movies that I was watching at the time, which are super pop culture comedies. But this movie fascinated me. After we get this very serious monologue, the main character begins in silence. The environment, the sound designs, I highly recommend you watching this movie with headphones if you don't have a surround sound system. I grew to love the concept of movies that just throw you into a world, that don't overly explain it. Granted, the main character is the new eyes of the world, which is a very common thing a lot of movies do. It's a very good narrative way to showcase a world without overly explaining it. If I had to summarize what Nine is, it's a post-apocalyptic sci-fi adventure movie following 9 characters as they unlock the downfall of humanity after their version of World War II and defeating what inevitably destroyed humanity. One of my all-time favorite things about growing up with a movie is each time I watch it, I learn, notice, comprehend, or change perspectives on something new. And even the undertones of the war and the symbolisms towards our own war that we had, but just in an alternate reality, is really fascinating. Now for the character designs. Oh, the character designs. I could talk about them all day long. Oh, buckle down, children, okay?
So much thought. The details. Carved wood.
How they made the ragdolls, from 1 being very simplistic, very homemade, a prototype kind of model, to 9 being the most polished and sophisticated looking, having cleaner cuts to him, and even the characters of the in-between having different fabric uses or mixture of fabrics, all just really adds to the diversifying the different ragdolls. And even if they didn't diversify them, they have done such a good job with each character having very distinct voices and really strong body language. Each character has a very distinct way of moving, from the twins being very scatterbrained to 5 having very close into himself, but as the movie progresses, he becomes more and more confident in himself, which is a really cute underarching in the movie. And even to the character design of the machine itself is geometric, to add of its inability to understand humanity and to have this detach between it and the ragdolls. The way that they created the model for the machine is such a good use of CGI. it just reminds me of what the creator of the Book of Life said, of how CGI allows them to make noisy characters without making the animators just die. What the machine creates are these really interesting animalistic but robotic and weird use of organic substance. It really showcases on how the machine thinks and uses what it has around him. And the way that the machine creates the monsters each have a different intellectual level to improve upon the other that really builds to the final boss with the big conflict situation, and showcases how the machine thinks and learns from its opponents. I said this earlier, but the environment and set designs in this movie is so interesting. When they go to the rummage of the factory and it increases in production, and eventually it looks as if the factory is coming alive as its own thing. One really big thing I've noticed that I haven't seen a whole lot of people talk about is the color also helps build on the world. The world is dull and earthy, and on occasion has a blue undertone, sometimes yellow. This really adds the high contrast of when they use green or red that makes these colors seem foreign, and it screams mystery or danger. It makes me it's so good. I love it. As we go from place to place, the lighting also changes and adds to the flow of the movie. The movie starts with it being pretty much morning and it being very cloudy and fuzzy. We move along from that to the golden hour, sunset, nightfall, and back to morning. And then the main character goes back to where he starts, almost at the same time of day, but instead of being lost and clueless and the world being foggy, it's clear, sharp, and he knows what he's doing. There's also this really interesting use of fire as symbolism to the destruction of past, present, and the last fire building for the future. And if in all, this movie is really is really good. I enjoy it so much. The pacing goes really well, and I feel like everything builds really well on each other until we get to the very end, and instead of going the way people expect, we go a different route, which can become a little muddled and messy, but the thing that they are trying to express is muddled and messy. It's generally just a really beautiful piece of work in animation, storytelling, dialogue. The interactions each character have are so strong and well created. You can tell what everyone's priorities are. If what I haven't said already doesn't get you interested in watching this movie, then go watch it anyways. Just give it a chance. I don't know. That's all I have to say. I hope you have a good day or night, and keep on binging, my binge-a-thoners. And happy 15th anniversary, 9.
Friend?
Friend?
Friend.